don't mind me here hiding from my responsibilities. Welcome to the mess.
On the surface she looks fine, but what's inside ain't always in line. Life is good, life is bad. She's a mess, but a happy one.
Hi, I'm Little Happy Mess and welcome to my podcast. Story time. So, this is the second episode. I'm back. I also have a new setup, so let's see how this works. Like every time. Now, I'm happy to be back, and today I want to talk about, hiding and also like social anxieties or anxieties in general. And I'll just start off. So, I did this episode about anxiety, and I when I researched and I asked some people about it, I did interviews. I did realize that I can relate to this somehow too, but it really hit me hard when I had this realization moment, which was back in the clinic, that I've been like hiding and like avoiding for a really long time, and I didn't even realize. So I found excuses for myself. I was like, so I'm not taking the bus because I just prefer riding my bike, or I just don't like when there's a lot of people, or I don't feel comfortable when I'm with people where I can't be like super goofy because it's, I don't know, at work, or with people where you just can't be like one version of yourself, maybe the one you feel most the one that feels most authentic or whatsoever. So I kept making up these excuses why I don't feel comfortable in those situations, why I keep avoiding them. And then I realized that I'm not avoiding them because I don't like them. It goes deeper. I'm actually like really, really scared. And this goes actually back to the starting of the Corona crisis, because everybody was scared of probably the illness or getting infected or whatsoever. And I was scared of behaving in a wrong way. So wherever I wasn't sure, do I have to wear the mask? How much distance do I have to keep? Are people looking at me? Because especially in the beginning, only the young people were to be blamed because we're partying and stuff like that. So I started, not knowing how to behave and getting this feeling that everybody's looking right at me whenever I do something. And this continued and continued until I became what I say, like I did make fun of it, like, 9gag and then the penguin that's red and blue and one part of the penguin moves in one side and the other part moves in the other side. I became the awkward penguin. I made fun of it, but actually this went really deep, and it got more intensive. So I had times where I didn't want to leave the house, and then I made up reasons why I couldn't leave the house, what would expect me out there, and how I'm more comfortable staying at home, and also like with work, like preferring to do home office, even though I missed my colleagues, or I would work more when I'm at work actually and don't have the distractions at home. And, the more I got into this whole hiding and keep avoiding situations, it got worse. So when I didn't face what I was scared of, then I got comfortable hiding even more, because I built up this huge pile of stuff that could happen, and I was like, okay, no, it's just better to not go to the fitness studio. But when it got more intense, more intensive, it wasn't just not because I hated going grocery shopping. This was the worst part, and it's okay to not like grocery shopping, but I love going to the gym, and then I wouldn't want to go to the gym. And when I went, I was so scared before. And then when I was there, nothing happened. So I was fine, but I was always in this alert mode. So what if that happens? And could this happen? Same goes with like grocery shopping, but then also shopping centers, or going to a restaurant. It could be any of those things. Yes, I kept avoiding and kept hiding and didn't even realize I was avoiding and hiding. And when the point came where I realized, I was like, shit, how am I gonna get back? Because it was hard, because I knew, from that you have to do exposure therapy when you're an anxiety patient. And then depending on the anxieties, you do like graduate exposure. Like if you're afraid of spiders, you would first show the person like spider photos, and then get closer to meeting a spider in real life, and then in the end maybe even be able to touch one. But some situations were just not possible because it was Corona. So some situations I couldn't practice. And it was really hard practicing them. And I'll go to the wisdom part where I explain what helped, how I handled it, and how I'm feeling now. So that's the first part I wanted to talk about. And then, because this episode is about coming out of hiding, kind of, and another important factor for me was this whole hiding behind toxic positivity. So like I'm Nina, I'm doing my healing practitioner, psychotherapy, education. So I'm not supposed to feel bad or talk about my feelings, because I always need to be in a good mood. That's the stereotype I put on myself. And this is actually the least authentic you can be as a human, also as a therapist or coach, because we're humans, we have feelings, and we need to talk about them, or we need to express them. And I realized, that I wasn't doing that because I felt obliged to be a certain way, to feel a certain way, because I'm Nina, I'm a sun. That's what everybody's like saying. Oh, you're sunshine, and oh, you're always happy, and blah blah blah. And I felt like I really needed to be that, like to be always happy, to sparkle up people's life. But that's just one part of who I am, and I can't be like that like 100% of the time. And I think this is a social problem, really, or a global problem, because we are educated in a way where we are not enforced, but like motivated to show positive behavior and to show positive emotions, and demotivated to show negative emotions and negative behavior. And this is bad in a way that many people, first of all, don't know how to express negative emotions, and second of all, they don't feel comfortable expressing anything. So they have the feeling they always have to put on a smile and wear a happy mask, but really that's not good, and that's not what we're supposed to do as humans. It's not authentic either. And I found myself in this place, like very, I was very confident there, and that was where what I learned, how I grew up, and how people around me behaved. But that's really bad, because when you don't express emotions and when you don't feel emotions, then they become a huge pile, just like the anxiety, and at some day, like this, just life forces you to face them, and then you don't know what to do with it. You fall into depression, maybe, because that's when you don't really know why you're feeling bad anymore. You just feel bad, but there's no situation or conflict or whatsoever that caused it, because you don't even know, because it goes back so far, and it all mixed up, and now it's just shit. And I'm like, I'm saying that if it was something fun, it's really not fun, and I know it personally. And yeah, so it's nothing that we want in our lives, and it's important to express our emotions. Wisdom. So now we come to the wisdom part, which is more in the focus today, I would say. So first of all, the whole anxiety thing. I wouldn't even call it social anxiety, because now that I'm learning, because I'm a healing practitioner exam really soon, now that I'm learning all the different types of illnesses, and then also the types of anxiety, I know that I'm not faced with social anxiety, but rather general anxiety. So scared of many different things, and I would say for me it's rather like mixed with depressive symptoms, so not like anxiety disorder alone. Or it's really not important, but like if you would diagnose me, you would diagnose me differently. But it's really not important for you. I just told you anyway. So what did I do? So like I already said, gradual exposing therapy is very important, not for all types of anxiety, but for my type, yes. And I did that with myself. So I didn't even do this in therapy, but I knew what to do, so I did it myself. So I exposed myself with everything I was scared of. Sometimes I took somebody with me, so that I would feel more secure. So I had my mom or friends with me, and then other times I really like did the things I was scared of alone, like going to the fitness studio or doing grocery shopping, because I knew that I would do these things, that I can do them, first of all, they're manageable for me, and that I'm capable, and that I need to do them alone. I just felt I needed to do those things alone. And then every time I was able to manage something, I was super proud of myself. So I really like, even though it was something really little, really small, I like, I was kind to myself. I congratulated myself. I was proud of myself, and enhanced those feelings, and maybe treated myself if it was something big. So I got sweets or something like that, or chips. And yes, it was so good, because then at the end, I was able to go to a shopping center in Colombia, for example, in Colombia's capital city, in Bogota, which has 8 million inhabitants. So that's a big thing. I was able to travel by plane. I was able to go to crowded airports or crowded whatever areas. Especially Colombia helped me with the whole corona awkwardness I told you about, because the people there were so different than how we treat each other here in Austria. Because here, when, I don't know, somebody forgets his mask, or just moves the wrong way, people just give you those mean looks. And in Colombia, they're like really friendly. They tell you nicely, or they, I don't know, they don't talk about it all the time. So it's more, it was really a good atmosphere to get used to all the measurements that came with Corona, and I'm really, really grateful for my experience in Colombia, because it taught me a lot, and I was able to expose myself to a lot. Learned a lot there. So that's the first part. That's like, how do you call it, behavioral therapy. But the other part is looking, where did it come from? So why did I end up like this in the first place? Why did I end up there? And then, of course, there's like my personal components and traumatic experiences and stuff. But this time it was really more, first of all, Corona crisis and all this news flash, and then blah, blah, blah. And you're like overloaded with anxiety causing messages. But then in general, on a global perspective again, we tend to be confronted with a lot of things that cause anxiety, and we tend to react with anxiety and base our decisions on anxiety. Easy example, insurance adverts. Do Do you say that? Yeah. They always, they say, you need to book that and that insurance because what if something happens? And then on many other sectors, we are like, let's say we put the dress security around it, but what's really behind, what really motivates us, is anxiety. And marketing does that, but we also do that to ourselves. We do that with our children. We're like, you're not allowed to cross the street without looking because what if something happens? And then we tell like really bad stories to our kids, and then they're like really scared. And the reason they don't cross the street without looking is because they're scared. What if something happens? But we could do that very differently. We could tell them that it's very important to look to look left or right before crossing the street, because something can happen, and also it's important because of many other reasons. And we don't have to, like shake them and activate their anxiety part or their anxiety response center in their brain, but like teach them responsibility, teach them rules, and that's just enough. We don't always have to scare people, because we base a lot of our decisions on anxiety, and of some decisions we're not even aware. But like, let's take another example. I'm not gonna talk to this guy that interests me because what if he rejects me? But you could also view it in a way that I'm gonna talk to this guy because what if I die tomorrow, and then I die knowing that I never had the guts to talk to this guy? And that's the other side. And I think we all don't want to be at the end of our life and then look back and be like, yeah, I didn't do that because I was scared. I didn't do that because security first, blah, 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 blah. And then we didn't end up doing the things that were important to us. Because usually where the most anxiety lies, that's where we need to go, because that's very important to us. And then when we overcome that, then we're incredibly proud. We reach the next step, and we just move forward in our personal development and spiritual development as well. So that's really important. And then also, like the personal part I talked about, I needed to do some how do you say that, like relationship building with my inner child, because I was rejecting her or like pushing her away so much that she just, came back with force. So I realized that all those small anxieties I had, like, I don't know, waking up and then getting a call or whatever, like really basic stuff, was because when I was a kid or a teenager, and then like growing up in general, I was always the courageous one. I always confronted me with everything, and I just did everything, and I didn't let myself be scared sometimes, because it's okay, oh, should I do that? And then, just be with yourself and like talk to yourself and be like, no, you can do that, and have patience with the part of you that's scared or that's sad or that's hurt. And I didn't do that. I didn't have patience for, like little Nina didn't have patience for little Nina, and then big Nina didn't have patience for little Nina. I didn't have that part or that phase where I was scared of things, and then I, talked to my parents or talked to someone, and then maybe even got help to do it with someone. I always thought I have to do everything on my own. And this I have to do everything on my own attitude got me in so many difficult situations, and also made my life harder, not just anxiety based, but in every aspect, because you can achieve so much more when you ask for help, or when you take someone with you. It's also more fun, because team is together we achieve more or together we achieve miracles. No, that's really true. And so I had to talk to my inner kid and then develop a new attitude. Develop an attitude where I acknowledged that I was scared. I really asked myself, okay, so what do we need to do now in order to feel more comfortable? How can we treat ourselves afterwards? can I ask someone for help? Would that make it easier? And really like be in a dialogue with that inner part of me that resisted, that was scared, that wanted to hide. And that really helped. This also helped in regards of my talking about emotions and toxic positivity story, because I started talking to people. I started talking about what I was scared of, that I was sad today, what happened today, where I had struggles in my life. And you know how it's always? Doors opened. You know, people were like, oh, I can help you there. Have you tried this? And then I realized, oh my God, this makes things so much easier, especially at work. I always thought I need to do everything alone, but that's not true. So many people wanted to help me, or, just work with me. And then, like, again, together we achieved more, and it's so much more beautiful sharing a great success with someone or with a group of people. It's just the success gets like amplified. It's even it's even greater. You feel even better because there's more people getting excited about the result or whatever it is. And also I became a little more honest with people and with myself, so more authentic. So I got a lot of like life threw a lot of things at me to prove this. Like, for example, I was accused of something that I didn't do anything wrong. And the old Nina wouldn't have said anything because, I have to be positive, and I have to be the, how do you say it, like the smarter one, and like just it's okay. But this time I didn't, I didn't become emotional either or try to. I just said no. I'm not gonna admit something that I didn't do. I'm not gonna hurt this part of me that has been, saying, okay, no, it's okay, like you just do your thing, like avoiding conflicts. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna like be confronting and like give people shit either, because that's not who I want to be. But I will talk about the way I think. I will be honest to myself, and I will also be honest to the other person. And the saying no, this really like drawing a line, this showing my border, showing how far people can go, how they can treat me. This really gave me a lot of confidence. Also talking about emotions, when I went to work and then I told someone I'm not feeling good today, and then I didn't perform in the right way, I didn't feel bad, and everybody understood, because we assume people wouldn't understand things, but they do. And it helps so much being honest. Like, I didn't sleep well today. I hate Mondays. Not an excuse to be negative all the time again, but to be honest and be authentic. Because if we express our emotions, then they don't hit us at once and come super strong and then destroy relationships and whatsoever, but they pass. Somebody, let's say you drive and then somebody cuts you and you're like, what the fuck? And you get mad for a second. But this could have happened to me too. And then it's gone again. Or you have a conflict, then you talk about it, maybe you get a little loud, or you stamp your feet, but then it's gone. Same as, I don't know, let's say you had a bad day, something didn't go right at work, and you're sad. And then you just cry. You cry for 10 minutes. You really like give that to yourself. You acknowledge that part that just got hurt, that's sad, that's exhausted, whatever it is. And then you let it go. Then you cook yourself something nice. You watch a movie, you read a book. But you take care of yourself, and you don't push that part that wants to be acknowledged away. And if we handle our emotions right away, they don't become those big piles that become unmanageable and might end up in depression. And really like find ways to express them healthy. Because if you, like me, and you have been suppressing your emotions for a really long time, then it could happen that you don't know how to express your emotions, and then when you express them, you're like, pfft, And that's not good because that destroys a lot. And you don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want to destroy. We want to, to build healthy relationships and circumstances whatsoever. So you need to find ways how to express your emotions, because if you find ways, then they become less extreme too. Like, for example, when you get angry, you try out different things like screaming in a pillow, pushing a pillow on the bed, or try boxing, or try breathing exercises. There are so many ways, and see how that treats you. You know, you like trial and error. You have to try what works and what doesn't work, and what works in certain environments and what doesn't works. The most important thing is just breathe. Like, something happens and then you're just like that solves a lot. Or you say, hey, I have to go right now, I'll come back, because that's really important if you're in a conflict with someone else. And then you go for a walk, you go for a run, and then you enter the conflict again, but without being emotionally based, but being able to express yourself more, not rationally, but like caring about the future too, and caring about the relationship or whatever it is. Same goes for sadness. If you're sad, then like cry or not cry, but just like be with yourself, be comfortable, take a bath, or take a warm shower, or maybe take a massage. Maybe you're just exhausted. Whatever it is, just listen to yourself and ask yourself what you need right now to treat that and to get over it and to feel better again. And then you can go on, and then the next emotion comes, and then you express that, and then the next emotion comes. Emotions are never permanent. It's our thoughts around the emotion that can make it permanent. So if I'm sad and I'm like, oh my God, I'm sad right now, what should I do? Well, that's not good, because then you start questioning why you have that emotion and not really try to solve that emotion. You're getting another emotion. You're getting scared. Same goes with, I'm not allowed to be scared, or I'm not allowed to be angry, and then you push it away. Same thing happens. And what I tried to say was that you can have an emotion and be like, oh, I'm sad right now. Okay, I'll do that and that and that and see how it goes. Or I'm angry right now. I'll do that and that and that and see how it goes. And if if you're like neutral with that emotion, if you just accept it's there because it's there anyway, whether you accept it or not, and you don't overvalue it, you just leave it the way it is, then it doesn't become a big problem. Because how we create problems is how we value emotions, situations, other people, circumstances, our life. That's how we create problems. If we put a value system, but if we just accept things the way they are, or change things, or find solutions, then we don't get into that struggle. Oh my God, I hate my life so much. No, like, don't overvalue situations. Like, accept the situation how it is, and then find the solution that is most makes most sense, that is possible, and do it, and don't spend so much time in that crazy mental prison. Further material. So I read a book which I really like. My coach recommended it to me, and it's called 7 Little Words by Deborah something. And it's about anxiety and explaining this whole social programming. And I really liked it, and it really helped me. So there's like a little prayer in there that you should say every time you get an anxiety-based thought, which is very often. And it's called, please heal this anxiety-based thought. And then you say that a few times, and then you just go on with your life. Then you say it again. And in that way, you kind of reprogram yourself. Because first of all, you realize it's an anxiety-based thought, you acknowledge it, and then you try to clean it, kind of. That's reprogram it, I would say. Clean sounds really stupid. So I would recommend you that book. I will put a link in the description or maybe not, because you can just order it, but maybe I will. Yes, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, let me know on social media, on YouTube. I'm Little Happy Mess everywhere. I would love to hear your feedback. Let me know how you're dealing with your emotions, what helps you best for your different emotions. And if you want to get more messness, then go to my Instagram. I post more there if I feel like it. And I'll be back next week with more. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Love you guys.